Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Today we are talking about Street Fighter 6 and how a lot of classic characters are returning, but not maybe in the way you think they are. Now, just to head this one up off the pass here, we are going to be talking about the leaks. I mention this every time, I just want to make sure. If you are one of the very few people that have not been spoiled yet on the leaks, it's time to check out now, because that's the whole basis of this video. If you are going to check out though, leave a like. That would be very appreciated. Now that said, let's get to the meat of this. So I'm going to show the leak list in 3, 2, 1, and here we are. So as we well know, Street Fighter 6 has many returning characters and many all new characters. The returning characters, even though they are the classic characters, there's still quite a bit new about them, and the new characters are all new, or, well, are they? Because we have someone like Kimberly. Now, Kimberly obviously is an all-new character, but she's heavily inspired by someone else. If you've seen anything about Kimberly, be it the gameplay trailer or some of the other info out there on the internet, you know Kimberly is heavily inspired by Guy. She's still her own character, but the majority of her moveset takes on what Guy can do, and the old Bushin Ryu kind of style that's been prevalent in Street Fighter over the years. If you need a full breakdown on that, you can find that linked at the end of this video. But suffice to say, even though she is an all-new character, she's not necessarily fully her own person, as she takes heavy inspiration from another character in another game. And I'm here to say in this video that she's potentially not the only character where this will be the case, as we have some signs that some of these other new characters that are debuting in Street Fighter 6 will be inspired / have some of the moveset of other original existing characters. Some of it's a bit speculation, to be honest, but some of the other stuff we have a bit more concrete evidence. So, well, let's get into it. So one more time, just to reiterate, Kimberly, we know for a fact, we've seen the gameplay, we know she is based off Guy. So who are some of these other characters that are based off other characters from other Street Fighter games? So first off here, let's talk Aki, because the similarities are undeniable here. Aki is 100% based off of Fang. How so? Well, for one, her hands are literally dripping with purple poison like Fang. That's kind of the whole deal. So in and of itself, before anything else, that's kind of it right there. But don't you worry, because we got plenty more evidence than just that. Secondly, you may notice how her name is spelled. A.K.I. Aki, right? Who else spells their name like that? Oh, Fang spells his name exactly the same way with the periods in between, right? So we have multiple links now, including the very non-standard naming convention they both happen to share. Now, I know you're saying at this point here, well, Rooflemonger, okay, so they have the same style and they share the same weird naming convention, but what else do you got, really? Well, how about this? How about years ago, Capcom, on the CFN and official Capcom website, did up a whole short story about Fang picking up a female apprentice. And will that female apprentice grow up to be Aki? Well, maybe, just maybe. You can check the video description. I'll give you a link to the story if you want to check that out for yourself. This was made up a couple years back as well, so there's precedent is what I'm trying to tell you. So on just so many layers, there's no way this character is not directly related to Fang, and just like Kimberly, it's likely that she'll inherit a good chunk of the moveset. So Fang, while mechanically one of the most interesting characters in Street Fighter V, was not very popular in the end, and his appearance, honestly, was part of it. But if you take that idea, that moveset, and you put it onto a sexy lady, things automatically improve. That's just reality, right? Now, just like how Kimberly isn't exactly a one-to-one guy, but heavily inspired by, I expect much the same out of Aki here. She'll have some of her own stuff, she'll be her own character, sure, but heavily inspired by Fang. Okay, so that's Kimberly, that's Aki. Who else? Well, we also have Mimi, or sometimes translated as Mammon, but I'll leave those arguments for yourselves in the comments. I'm just going to say Mimi for the ease of use. So this one, admittedly, less evidence here. But she's been compared to Abel since day 1, minute 1, second 1. Everyone that saw her is like, oh, she's Girl Abel. She's Girl Abel. She's Girl Abel. Why? Because she looks like Girl Abel. They are both French. They rock the exact same colors, just reversed. Abel has a blue gi with white tights. She has a white gi with blue tights. And like, man, the similarities are just too much, really. This is literally like the gender swap version of Abel. It's kind of cut and dry. Not to mention, in case you were unaware, Abel was originally a girl. His design document changed later in Street Fighter 4's life, but the plan was for him to be the character you're seeing here in the middle. So Abel started his life originally as a female character with the moveset he has, and it shifted to the character you know from Street Fighter 4. And then, well, not one-to-one, once again here, I do believe Mimi will be a different character than Abel, but will keep some of the moveset inspired heavily by, but once again, kind of shifting to a girl. And before you say, well, that's too crazy, man, you remember Rufus? This is what Rufus used to look like in Street Fighter 4 before they changed their mind. So some pretty wild shifts could happen. So some of the similarities, admittedly, you know, cosmetic, right? But it's a really damning cosmetic similarity. Once again, the second everyone saw her, she's like, oh yeah, this is Abel, this is Abel, this is Abel, just a girl. Like, so I expect it to be Abel, but a girl. And the final character we're going to talk about is Lily. And who is the character I think she is going to be somewhat based off of? Well, I think it's going to be T.Hawk. And I know that might seem like a bit of a stretch, little girl to giant dude, one of the biggest characters in Street Fighter's franchise history, but bear with me here because I think it's there. In fact, originally I didn't think she would have anything to do with T.Hawk. I just wanted to believe because, you know, if you follow the channel, T.Hawk's one of my favorite characters ever. But, well, hey, let's talk about it. So number one, exactly how many playable Native American characters are there in Street Fighter history? Oh, it's going to be 2, right? It's T.Hawk and now it's going to be Lily. So that in and of itself, and they're both from Mexico, kind of links them together more than just a little bit. Next, it is immediately apparent that Lily is from the Thunderfoot tribe, T-Hawk's tribe. Why? They got the feather, they got the white face paint, and the headband is the exact same design, just different color. Like, they are obviously related in some way, some fashion. It's undeniable. Some speculate maybe it's like T-Hawk's cousin, T-Hawk's daughter. I think she's a little too old to be T-Hawk's daughter, but regardless, in some way, some form, they're obviously related. Now, here's the crossroads that tripped me up originally, but now I see the light on how this is going to work. Now, the other character is Kimberly. She's a fast ninja, guys, and the fast ninja works out. Aki, she's weird, she's slender, just like Fang. She can easily pull off his weird fighting style, sure. Someone like Mimi. Mimi is a lot bigger than a lot of the other female characters shown, so her being able to whip people around like Abel does, I don't have any problem believing that, right? But then we go to Lily, who's the smallest female character in the cast, shown so far, who knows her DLC or whatever, and T-Hawk, who's one of the biggest characters ever. So how in the world does she inherit part of T-Hawk's moveset? Well, that's kind of the beauty of it, because if you know anything about T-Hawk, his moveset, a good chunk of his moveset actually totally fits a smaller character. I know your first thought is thinking, hey, the very big grab, right? But think about the literally everything else. T-Hawk's whole shtick is he's the most mobile of the big grapplers. Things like the Condor Dive, things like the Condor Spire, that he can just get a giant burst of mobility out of absolutely nowhere. These things, honestly, if you've never seen the character before, seem out of place on a big guy, but on a smaller character, they fit just fine. And if you've never seen the Omega version of Hawk, they actually gave him a new move where he just flies straight up into the air and he can do Condor Dives or whatever he wants from there. And they also gave him new Condor Dive angles, right? So the mobility part of T-Hawk can easily fit to a smaller character. That's the easiest thing in the world. Lily can very easily have Condor Dive, Condor Spire, all that stuff. It's no issue. I'd be surprised if she didn't. Now, obviously, the other thing is here, she's holding weapons. Not many characters in Street Fighter hold weapons, right? And she's got the 2 big bonk sticks, or like Algonquin Iroquois-style war clubs. And you think, okay, well, she's got that, she's got no grabs. Well, one, the archetype of the little girl who's stupidly powerful is a well-worn archetype in fighting games, right? The little girl that's very strong, she could easily just be that. Who knows? And as for the other issue of like how is she going to command grab people if she's holding 2 weapons, well, let's put it this way. She'd hardly be the only native character in a fighting game holding 2 one-handed weapons that could command grab people, right? And if you're going to have command grabs, instead of just Mexican Typhoon, it could just be bonking people with those sticks. So in the end, I don't think necessarily Lily's going to inherit the big slow grappler part of T-Hawk, but the part of T-Hawk what made him such an anti-grappler in that he had such crazy mobility, I think that's very easy for her to keep. And T-Hawk also a long-range character, big normals. If you got 2 big clubs, you're probably going to have big normals as well. That part fits just fine. But yeah, Condor Spire, Condor Dive, all that kind of stuff, I can easily see her having. And to me, that is why she's going to be inspired by T-Hawk, on top of the obvious aesthetic reasons as well. So those are some of the newcomers that I feel have direct inspirations from some of the older characters. Once again, Kimberly, kind of the template. She's very, very, very obviously inspired by Guy. Mimi looks exactly like Abel, just a girl. Someone like Aki is very obviously inspired by Fang. They even had lore going back years to set this up ahead of time. And Lily, I think there's more than a few things pointing towards T.Hawk. So that is 4 of the 8 all new characters. And if you felt like arguing it, you can potentially even go past that. Someone like JP, we know for a fact from the leaks that called him way before even this leak came out that he is a Psycho Power user. Perhaps the original Psycho Power user, who knows? But obviously there's a link to M. Bison there. That's undeniable. If you use Psycho Power, you're linked to Bison. Jamie, even though we know for a fact Jamie's pretty much his own man, he is somewhat linked to the twins, at least storyline-wise, and also some aesthetics because he's got the whole Kung Fu outfit, but he's still rocking the sneakers. And for anyone else, who knows? But like Luke, obviously his debut was meant to be here, not Street Fighter V. But then we got the bonus emergency season. But he's obviously meant to be like a new, easy to play style character, somewhat show-to-like, has the fireball, has the uppercut, all that kind of stuff. And Marissa, who even knows? She's just really, really big. But yeah, in the end, this video is just some of my speculation on the matter. I could be wrong, I could be right, although honestly, I wouldn't make this video if I didn't think I was right. So time will tell if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but now I'm going to throw it on you guys. What do you guys think? Because, you know, I'm laying some pretty heavy stuff here, right? Because these all new characters, I'm saying, maybe are not as all new as you might think. New coat of paint, new character, sure, but maybe some classic moveset returning. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and otherwise, well, I guess, my friends, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.